Well, hello and welcome to yet another edition of 907 Sports, where it is all local sports all of the time. And it's hard to believe it, but we are already at the end of the UAA hockey season. It seems like just yesterday that we were starting on this journey with the new version of the green and gold. So let's go back and recap that last game of the season, a couple highlights here and there. It was a wild, high-scoring weekend for the Seawolves. After tying Lindenwood 7-7 Friday, they look to end the season on the right skate in the last game of the year.
I'm just really grateful that Anchorage is supporting UAA hockey. It's been a long road these last 2 years, and it's so great to have so many people come out, and I hope they continue to do that even when we start up in the fall again.
The goals coming early and often for the green and gold. In the second games, they skated to a 4-3 win, but the goal of the season wasn't just to score goals. After being cut and then reinstated by the university, the hockey team just wanted to be on the ice. And it's fair to say they far exceeded expectations, going 8-19-1 in NCAA Division I this year, with 3 of those wins coming against high-ranking opponents. But while the wins are nice, it's more about keeping Anchorage hockey alive.
They're going to score a bunch of goals. I think they're going to just score a bunch of goals and win.
The next generation getting to see the Seawolves skate, the key word there, next, as for the first time in a while, we have next season to look forward to.
Well, after more than 7...
Awesome to see those green and gold, the green gang, back on the skates and back on the ice after being cut and reinstated. And head coach Matt Shasby, who is a former UAA hockey player as well, had done quite a nice job there in his first season, and it's only going to get better as they did really good there. And we can't wait to see them as they get back in the fall and they get training, because, you can only get better. And speaking of things that are really good and are getting better, how about the Iditarod? We are gearing up for the finish here in the next couple of days, and our top racers are getting closer and closer to that Burled Arch. We're going to go to the other half of our sports team, Jordan Rodenberger, who's out in Unalakleet, who caught up with a couple of those top dogs and some interesting stories there.
Well, after more than 700 miles along the Iditarod Trail, it can be pretty easy to get caught up in the Unalakleet checkpoint with all of this great food and the warm beds, with some teams in the front of the pack taking measures to just blow through this checkpoint altogether.
Ryan Reddington arriving into Unalakleet at 4:20 a.m. Sunday morning, the first time he has been in the lead at the first checkpoint along the western Alaska coast, staying for more than 3 hours before taking off to maintain his lead.
Unalakleet's in my blood, and I'm very proud to be here, and thank you guys very much.
Meanwhile, Pete Kaiser and Richie Deal camped for several hours about 20 miles outside of Unalakleet. Part of their strategy is to just blow through the checkpoint. Following the top 3 came 2 battling for Rookie of the Year, Hunter Keefe and Eddie Burke Jr., who arrived 22 minutes apart and left 3 minutes apart. But if Hunter Keefe doesn't win Rookie of the Year, he certainly has a case for a sportsmanship award. As on the run from Grayling to Eagle Island, Burke dozed off, fell off the sled, and lost his team of 10 dogs who ran about 15 miles by themselves to the next checkpoint.
When I got back to the checkpoint, they were all scared and looked like I abandoned them. They were all sour attitudes. I'm like, I didn't leave you guys, not on purpose.
Burke, with few options, began making the walk to Eagle Island until he came across another musher.
I thought I was catching a team because I saw a headlight, and then I realized that, it was a person walking. And there's the ITI walkers and stuff, so I figured it must have been one of them. And then he kind of stopped really close to the trail, and I was like, oh, that's Eddie.
Keefe didn't hesitate to give Burke a ride, which would only hurt his race time.
I didn't really think twice. I let him on because I wouldn't want to be walking at 20 below.
But Keefe knows what his team is capable of.
It really showed how incredible my team was, because he hopped on the sled, so we doubled the load. And you can ask him, not one dog ever looked back for even half a second wondering what was going on. They just chugged along like little freight trains they were.
That was big time. It's being a true sportsman.
And so what did the rookie learn after losing his team?
Well, I rigged out myself a little I got this right here, and it snaps to another line on my sled. So if I do fall off, I ain't going too far.
And now the rookie tandem, who can't seem to separate from each other, are now braving one of the toughest stretches along the Iditarod Trail. And for those that are out of the Unalakleet checkpoint, they are onto the western Alaska coast, where absolutely anything can happen. Some of the most wild stories from the trail taking place down that stretch. So be sure to keep tuning in to Alaska's news source for the latest along the Iditarod Trail. But for now, we're going to be sending it back to the studio.
Some good stuff out there from Jordan Rodenberger, and we can't wait to get out. I'm going back out on the trail tomorrow, hopefully weather be permitting. I'll be flying into Nome and gearing up for that first musher to cross the finish line. Will it be Ryan Reddington? Will it be Pete Kaiser? Will it be Richie Deal? Or could it be somebody else? You never know out there on the coast. The weather is the great equalizer in that sport. So we are excited to bring you all of that great coverage. You're going to find that a lot here on the Facebook page for Alaska's News Source. We'll keep that updated no matter when he finishes. We will be watching and reporting live and bringing it to you guys. But until then, I hope you enjoy whatever little slice of 907 heaven you're hanging out on tonight.